All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by the newest Bachelor, Joey Grazade. Welcome to the show, Joey.
You crushed that last
Thank
name.
you.
Really
Thank you very much.
I'm glad to be here.
It hurts to not fully go Italian. Like, I read your last name and I'm like, nobody calls him Joey Graziade. No
Graziade,
shots.
you got to put the hand up
Yep,
too.
yep.
There's rules to it,
And
but no one does.
I bet
it.
you don't even do that.
No, I can't.
In school, you drop that.
No, it's break it down as simple as possible to Grazade. It's the
Yeah.
only way to do it.
Yep.
I thought I actually on night one on charity season, I introduced myself like that to her, and I had a moment where I was freaking out, like, what am I doing right now? I've
Who am
never
I?
in my life said my name like that. I was like, if that makes it on TV, my family's gonna laugh at me.
Yeah.
You wanted a little extra flair.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I wasn't even
She's
looking
gonna
at the
remember
camera.
this.
I was
She's
like
like-
looking straight out that day. There was a lot of stuff on night one. I
In
did
Charity's
not
mind,
handle
she probably was like, maybe this guy can speak Italian.
Yeah.
Maybe this
Yeah.
is a little extra.
And then she asked me, I was like, that's the only thing I know.
Only that. And we were just talking about, making the transition from if you want to be Joey or Joe. I was thinking about this the other day and talking about it with someone. Like, if you think about a baby, being born, and it's like, oh, little baby Joe.
Yeah,
Like, that's
yeah.
like
Doesn't
serious.
fit.
It
No.
doesn't fit.
Doesn't
Like, it's
fit.
like, oh, little Joey. Like,
Yeah.
you have to act, like, my dad's name is Mike. And I was like, and people sometimes call him Mikey. I'm like, that makes sense because you coming out, being a little baby and being like, there's Mike. Like, it just doesn't
work.
fit.
Doesn't
like,
work.
It's way too serious as a baby.
Yeah, the E makes it a little bit softer every time. I
So
mean,
you-
my full name's Joseph, but
Yeah.
if you called me Joseph, I would think I was in trouble. My
Yeah.
mom would say Joseph Michaels if I was in trouble, and it was always Joey. And I thought I would change it at some point in my life, but I
Just
got
kept
two
going.
sisters and a mom. They always called me Joey. They're like, you're always going to be Joey. And I guess it was Joey from Friends that gave me the idea that it was actually cool to still keep that name as you
So
stay
true.
older. So
That's actually a great point.
that's kind of what I held on to majority of the time.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, oh, it's fun, Joey.
Yeah. Hopefully that's what they think, but I just couldn't get it. I couldn't. Some of my guy friends call me Joe. It happens, but Joey's always how I'm going to introduce
Right.
myself.
Yeah. As you
So,
should.
how are you feeling? The season is about to start. You're doing a lot of press. You're here. You're there. What are the emotions right now?
I'm excited to be here right now. I've followed you guys since I've been in college. I got Philadelphia area. Everyone loves
Yeah.
Fran. Obviously you too, Rhea. But
Thank you.
It's exciting to be here, and this is the kind
Yeah,
of
I got a
stuff
bone
that
to
you
pick
just
with you,
yeah.
huh?
Well, we can talk about that if you'd like.
I saw
but-
the post.
Yeah, I know.
I said, where does his allegiance lie?
So my
Go,
mom,
Pack, go.
my mom is from the Wisconsin area.
Okay.
So she grew up her whole life there, and if you know anyone from Wisconsin, that's all they have.
Yeah.
So it was just like that was from my
Hey,
entire life. that
I'm
is
on
the
board
fam.
if I'm on board with them beating the Cowboys, so I'll
Yeah,
take it.
it was a good win.
But I was like, I could have swore this guy was saying he was an Eagles fan.
Yeah, I think people just assume because I was
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
Philadelphia area.
That is
I
true. We do like to make that assumption.
Immediately like, oh, go Birds.
what do you
as
mean?
soon as
Yeah,
you say
yeah.
Philly, it just happens. But I love the Eagles. I will always root for them unless they're playing the Packers. I was bummed to see them lose to the Bucks. I was kind of hoping there was a chance they would collide in the playoffs again.
Yeah.
Because that's just fun for me to
Yeah.
have that be the case. But yeah, Packers fan through and through. It's kind of the only team I really care about.
There you
so,
go. You
yeah.
and Nick Viall.
Yeah.
Be the
Yeah,
Bachelor.
I get it's a thing.
The Bachelor Packer squad. I know. I think it's funny, like for us now, because I still think of us as when we like first started, and I was so excited to watch the show and interview people from the show,
Yeah.
and I was always such a big fan. And now we've been doing it for so long that it's like everyone just gets younger and younger, and I'm like, damn, now they're coming in like, hey, we love to listen to you guys. And I'm like, wow, when did this shift?
Yeah.
When did it become the other way? But it's very exciting for us. I'm excited that you're excited to be here.
Well, it's just I don't know. I don't really follow pop culture too much. The only reason I know anything about it is probably because of you guys, because I follow you on Instagram and I just always used to see the videos. And yeah, I don't know, just fan of
Yeah.
the podcast, fan of the show in general.
And I
We're-
saw you talking to Trent when I
Big
walked
golf
in.
guy.
Yeah.
You're a big foreplay guy, and so you kind of look like the foreplay main producer, Brendan
That's what I heard.
Jones.
He's a good-looking dude. I'm
And
lucky to hear that.
He took a picture with you, and when I walked in, I saw you talking to Trent, but I thought it was Brendan talking to Trent, and so that's why I wasn't like prepared, because we had the interaction where everything fell out of my hands.
We can talk about that if you want. It's okay.
Because I was walking to my desk and Joey was at our desk area talking to Trent,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
thought it was Brendan Jones.
Yeah.
And so I just was like walking him, and then Joey sticks his hand out. I have all this stuff in my hands,
Right.
And honestly, I thought it was like a shitty move by him
It
to put
was.
his hand
It
out
was.
when he saw I had everything in my
I was
hand.
nervous. I should have went for a hug. I should have been so nice to meet you, and I ruined it.
And then I was like, wait, I'm gonna drop everything, and then I did, and then everything dropped to the ground.
Also,
but
it's like
we moved past it.
For a second, your brain glitches too because you're like, why is B. Jones in a blazer?
Well, I was
you're
just like no, you were wearing a trench coat,
Yeah.
and I was like, wow. Okay,
looks good.
they're in some serious conversation about the next foreplay video.
Yeah.
I don't want to interrupt, and then it was you.
Yeah, it was me.
Yep.
Okay, so let's dig into you becoming the Bachelor, right? You finished charity season shortly after it's announced you're the Bachelor. It's felt like you had some time a little bit to digest that. How did you, or did you kind of jump right into filming?
No, you definitely get time.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to remember, like, we finished filming before everything started coming out.
Yep.
I got an opportunity to go back to Hawaii for a bit, which was awesome, just to go back to my job, to get back to just feeling like me again. And I said it on the show, I'll say it every time. Dotton's one of my favorite people I've met in my entire life, and Charity being that too. They're amazing. When I saw them together on the show, when I've seen them together since then, I don't know how you don't have closure after seeing something like that. I'm just truthfully happy for these two great people to be with each other. And I was able to just realize she didn't choose me. It's how it goes. It's what I signed up for. And I'm now more ready than ever to feel that way and to find my person. So if that opportunity comes along, I'm ready for it. And it's a weird thing. It is weird how quick it comes, but I did feel ready, and it just kind of worked out in my way that I got the opportunity.
How different was it being on the other side? Because
Different.
I feel like you think you know, right?
No.
You think you know the format, but then you're the lead, they call it.
I think what hits you first is just how much it's every day. Like you have breaks when you're a contestant because you're not on every date. You don't have it always about you. You get these little moments and you don't realize how much you appreciate those little moments until they're not there. So quickly on, I was like, oh, I'm doing stuff every day. And this is a lot. And it's just, so many different conversations, all these different women. It can definitely take a toll on you, but they were all amazing. I was so lucky, and it was a great experience.
You're now in Bachelor Nation. Did you get any advice from former Bachelors? Sometimes they make appearances on the show, but everybody's been hanging out recently. I know the big golden Bachelor wedding.
Yeah.
What advice have you gotten from people?
Yeah, it's great to connect with those guys and any of the girls from the show too, because they just get it. They've been in the world. I knew Jason Tardik before anything. He's someone I met when I was in Nashville for a little bit. So he was kind of the person I talked to before going on The Bachelorette to be prepped for it. And he's someone I talked to just about the role in general, just to, have someone you can talk to about the stuff that gets it. I've gotten to connect with Ben Higgins, Ari's reached out, other people from the show have always kind of been open, and it just feels like you have a lot of people in your corner, which is nice.
Now, you mentioned a couple of names that, have been involved in Bachelor Nation drama before. There's always big talks about all that going on. Are you now a little bit nervous that you have stepped into that world even further? Has anybody given you advice on how to handle that going forward?
Yeah, I think you figure out pretty early on when you get out of it how much there's just a lot of people that are invested in your life now. And it's weird for me. I'm not a drama guy. I usually don't even like putting my life out there too often. So this is all new. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to focus on me and trying to stay confident in what I'm doing and who I am as a person. And I'll let the drama be whatever it's going to be. There's just so much in this world you can't control. So for me, I know it can come. I know it's there. I think they try to give tips and tricks where they can, and I take whatever I can. But I haven't been in any drama. I'm hoping not to be. I just want to focus on me living my life how I usually would. It's just new that there's a little spotlight on it. And there's a big spotlight at this moment, but I'm getting used to it, and I'm just trying to stay me. That's all I can do.
And this isn't really real drama, but we saw on charity season, people were talking about your uncle a lot, right?
Yeah, Uncle Joe. Shout out.
When family comes into the mix, it's hard to navigate because that's your family. You want to protect them, and then people have opinions on that. When you were watching that back and you saw all the opinions, how did you feel? Were you laughing a little bit? Were you upset?
You have to laugh.
Yeah.
You have to laugh because me and my uncle have such an interesting relationship. He's the person that taught me how to play tennis. He's been a big part of I would never have lived in Hawaii, would have never taught tennis, wouldn't have had the life I've had, wouldn't be in this position right now if it wasn't for him. So I have so much to give thanks to. And we just have that usual relationship where he likes to give me shit a lot. I like to give him, and it probably didn't seem good on TV.
Might not translate to TV.
We were like, Uncle Joe's a little serious.
No, he is though. And the thing is everyone that knows us, when they watched it, they loved it. Like I got so many messages from people that know us, and like that dynamic was so cool to see on TV, and it was real. And of course it gives the opportunity to make it look a certain way. I think all I did during that time is I just made sure I said a post to everyone, like, please be respectful of my family in general, because he is a great guy that has made me into the man I am, and you're allowed to have your opinions, but he is a great person that, you know, he meant the best. He was trying to make sure that I knew what I was doing and I was fully invested in this. And when he left it, he was more confident than ever that it was the right choice, and he was proud of what he's seen. So you don't get to see that side. You just get to see him grilling me, but it actually was probably one of the best things for our relationship we've ever had, and we've gotten closer since then. So I'm grateful for it.
How did he feel about you then becoming the Bachelor?
I think if you asked him, the guy that he thought he knew before going on The Bachelorette was going to be the Bachelor, he would have pumped the brakes and said, are you sure you want to do that? Yeah. From what I've learned from the show, from how I feel like I've grown, from just the conversations we've had, he's more confident than ever that I can handle this. So I'm grateful for that, but you know, he still is like, watch out, like be careful kind of thing. He's just a protective uncle that knows it's a tough position, but all good things.
How has the rest of your family reacted to it? Because being a contestant is one thing. Your family doesn't really need to be involved unless you make it to the end, which you did make it to the end. But now being the lead, like they could want your family involved in certain things. They may want them on the show talking or doing whatever. So how did that conversation go with them?
They're veterans now. They're used to this stuff. We did the hometown package before, and I'm like, why are you guys so, like, you're liking this? You're liking this more than I am.
Like,
and
you know how many episodes of this freaking show we've watched?
and then by the end, when we obviously do like the hometowns, when people come at the end and my family comes, like they were like veterans. I was like, okay, like you guys got this. But they've been nothing but supportive. I'm lucky to have such a loving family, and they're in my corner always. I think I've gotten a couple that they're worried about how much the lead gets scrutinized and is under a microscope, and they just want to make sure that, you know, they're feeling good. My sister's made jokes that she wants to make like a little fake account and just be going back at people when she can, but it's all because they know that they know me, they know I'm doing the best job I can, they know there's tough positions, but they have faith in me, and that's all I can ask for.
That just made me think of the Pete Davidson's comedy special. He had a joke about his mom making a burner Twitter account. But she like changed the username, but didn't realize that like the name said her name.
I would hope my sister did. She'd be better than me. I hope she can make it.
They know what they're doing, but then it's revealed.
Sorry,
like,
Carly, to put your business out there. She probably didn't want to know anyone that she was going to do the burner. She said that she might not even make the burner. She might just do it on her own account. She might just clap it back.
And no one would blame her. They'd be like, "That's his sister."
That makes sense.
That's his sister.
Otherwise, if a troll is going really hard for you, they might be like,
person?
all right, Joey.
Yeah.
Like,
who's Eagles fan 222? Why are you still talking to me?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So we saw the cast, we saw the women that are going to be on your season. Of course, you know, there's plenty of wonderful women that are coming onto the show. Is there any part of you going into it that says like, well, what if I don't connect with somebody?
Yeah, I think that's a normal fear coming on, is you're not choosing these people. You're coming in as blind as everyone else is. I just have so much faith in the show in general from my experience I had before that I tried to just stay positive. But yeah, I wouldn't lie about that. Like, you have that worry, like I just might not connect with anyone when you get in here.
Did you tell casting that you liked brunettes?
Yeah, I heard that. I heard
that was the big takeaway.
No, you know, we're used to seeing a lot of blondes on this show, and they're looking through all the cast. It was not that many blondes.
I think what happened was I said I'm open to whatever, because I've dated a lot of different women. Like I don't have a specific type that they finally were probably like, oh, we can get brunettes now. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But I didn't ask for brunettes. I didn't ask for anything. I said the same thing every time. I'm looking for someone that you, from knowing me, you feel like would actually be a good match. I have no doubt you're going to be bringing plenty of beautiful women, but I'm more interested in finding people you think that I can actually connect with. And I gave that same answer every time, and I meant it, and I guess they went with a lot of brunettes.
Yeah, that is true.
They felt like the personality matched.
Yeah, I guess so.
So night one, all the girls show up, you're meeting everybody, we're going to watch it all happen. I think a lot of the leads have said, you know, oh, you're so nervous going in, and then night one you start to think, wow, there's so many amazing people here, like this could work. did you have that moment night one?
Yeah, for sure. You have that moment right before you walk in and have your speech, and you prep your speech before, and there's a point of it where I'm like, I think I can actually see my fiance and future wife in this room. And I was like, man, that's a tough line to say if I don't feel it after the limo entrances. But I did. I think that I got enough butterflies from meeting some of the women that I'm like, this is going to be a really fun experience. And you'll see it through this whole season. I mean, they're all amazing. So it wasn't a question as if there was someone that was a good match. It was who was a good match for me.
Somehow, no matter what, this show, they can pull us in. We think we've seen it all. We think we've seen it all. And the trailer comes out for the full season, and they hit us with, an ending like you've never seen before. We're like, how could there possibly be an ending like we've never seen before? We've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
But it pulls us in every time. How do you feel about that label on your season that was like it's ended like we've never had it?
I can tell you this. I can't tell you what happens, but I can say I haven't watched a ton of the show, but from what I know, what the ending is, I don't think it has happened before. So it's not it's a true pull.
We're locked in. We're locked in already.
It's a true pull.
It's an
Every
automatic
time.
lock-in though when they say it. It's like
I
I've never
know.
happened before. Okay, show me a
Jesse
twist.
Palmer.
At least
show me a
we
twist.
didn't have like the most dramatic season yet. Like it's a different
right,
thing.
right.
It's a little
No,
bit.
that's
It
most
pulls you in a
dramatic
different
Maybe
way.
it's
Yeah.
not the most dramatic, but
No.
something we've never
He
seen
actually
before.
quoted, I think, the most romantic season yet, which I was like,
Oh.
ooh, that's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is
Now,
very nice.
where are you living right now? Like, are you in Hawaii still?
I wish. I don't mean that because I'm so happy to be with family, but it would be nice. It's cold out here.
Yeah, it is
so
very.
cold.
You're also here. It is extremely cold right
No,
now.
I'm back in Philadelphia area. So I grew up there from like second grade through college. My sister married her high school sweetheart and lives just down the street from where we kind of grew up. So I'm there. I'm not sleeping on the couch. I got my own room, so that's
Nice.
good. But it's nice. I think there's so much going on with all this. I'm moving around so much that it didn't really make sense before all of it started. I didn't really want to. I lived in like a little kind of studio in Hawaii that was kind of in the woods, and when I came back from the Bachelorette, all of the creatures moved in, and I didn't need to have that happen
Yeah.
again. So
Okay.
I
it's
guess
nice to be with family. In
It is
Philly
so
area.
interesting, and I don't know how much you've really talked about it because you kind of just see like this is where you were. Oh, college, I was here, then I was in Hawaii, then I'm back. But it's like, how did you even end up in Hawaii?
Yeah, it's a crazy kind of thing when I still think about it, how I've always moved around. But my uncle that I talked about, Uncle Joe, was a teaching tennis pro, and he was the person that taught me how to play tennis, kind of got me into learning how to teach it. I learned how to play and teach at the same time. Picked it up when I was like 13. And when I was in college and playing college tennis, he was my coach. So I used to go in the winters and the summers, and I would go to Hawaii and stay with him, and he would kind of help me with my game. I'd work at the local club, and the golf club that I worked at, actually, I made a relationship with the club and the GM, and I actually quit tennis my senior year because I was like, I'm not doing tennis anymore. I'm going to figure something else out. And that club offered me the head pro job at 22 years old.
Wow.
Like 3 weeks after I quit tennis, and I was like, yeah, I'll take the
Yeah.
job. So then I
really
like
cool.
went and moved to Hawaii. Hadn't played tennis for like 3 to 4 months because I was just finishing out college. Picked the
Yeah.
racket back up and fell in love with the sport again, and fell in love with teaching it. And it's just hard to say no to that.
Yeah.
So, and I lived there for about 3 years. Then I moved to Nashville for 2 years because I burned out, and I was like, I'm 20 something living
Yeah,
in Hawaii.
yeah.
I got to get to a city. Tried that.
Nashville, obviously.
Nashville.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to do it. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
But then the job offer came again to go back out to Hawaii. It was a little bit different this time. I was kind of like an island guide, so I didn't just teach tennis. I got to like go on beach days, teach surf lessons, go on a Hawaiian sailing canoe. It was like the coolest job
Yeah.
I ever got offered. Took it, and then all of a sudden I found out I got an offer to go on The Bachelorette, and then my life's been different ever
I was
since.
gonna say,
crazy,
how
and-
did
and-
how did the offer for the Bachelorette come in?
One of the producers DM'd me.
Yeah, okay.
So it was one of those things that I wasn't looking for it, but then
Yeah.
I did the application, sent in a home video. I had a friend of mine that helped me with it, and she went way too hard on the home video. They even called me like, what was that? Like that was something we would put out. Like, why
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it that
You
good?
stood out.
Yeah. So she's probably the main reason I even got noticed after it. But yeah, someone reached out to me, and I just kind of one thing led into another. 2 months later, I'm on the show, and my life's kind of been different ever since then.
I mean, an
seriously.
experience of a lifetime to get to enjoy living in Hawaii.
I
You know,
loved
maybe
it.
not forever, but just to have that and always be able to go back. How did the producer find your Instagram? Like, did you have
You're gonna
some
have to talk to him.
followers
'Cause
or?
I've asked him multiple times. I think I was private at the time. I don't even think that I was a public account. I think he was like found something through some
Maybe
type
somebody
of picture.
he knew took a lesson from you.
I
And they're like,
guess.
we got to get
You
this
never
guy.
I asked him and he was like, I don't even remember, because I guess
Yeah.
they do that a lot during the
Yeah.
season.
I
They'll
was gonna say
sometimes
they
reach
probably
out.
That's
go
crazy.
pretty deep, where they're like down a rabbit hole, or like, I don't even know how I landed on this person's
Right,
profile.
and that's what I think he said is he went down
Yeah.
a rabbit hole and he found me, and then I, of course, was like, this is fake. I'm not going to respond to this. But
Of course.
the only person I knew from that world was Jason, because I golfed with him when I was in Nashville, and I just sent him a screenshot and said, can you just check and see if this is real
He's just a
before I
real person.
respond?
right.
And it was. It's his name's Patrick. He's one of my favorite producers on the show.
Maybe,
So
maybe Jason
crazy.
was meddling a little.
Yeah.
You know how Jason thinks. You guys know Jason.
I-
he was
he
like
probably golfed
Maybe
with
so
you and was like,
thinking.
this
I
guy
see
is
potential.
perfect.
Yeah, and he was just, his head was going like, I think I might have done something. Let me see if I posted anything with you
Yeah.
in it. I was like, Jason,
Yeah.
we don't have to figure out why. But
Yes.
he's awesome. He was such a good person to talk to before, because he prepped me for a lot
Yeah.
and just gave me a lot of insight on what it was going to be like. And it's just nice to have those people that you can kind of know from the show that can help you through all this.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is awesome, and I feel like you've made all the connections now, and you have it. I don't know if you saw, but they were talking about you on Jared and Dean and Kayla.
Oh, were they?
Because they said like who had the most fun at the wedding. They said you.
I had no business getting that drunk. When the live part stops and they like finally finish it up,
Yeah.
I was like, Ty's coming off.
Yeah, it's go time.
There's
Well, that's what I love to
Yeah.
see. I was like, this is because when we saw the social media footage, I was like, oh, this is
God,
a real
who
wedding.
was running
Like,
that?
This is
that
a good wedding.
I
you
know, but like I should not have shown those pictures of me.
We
I
were-
had so many friends that like sent them to me. Like, I know that face. I've seen that face at a wedding.
I've seen that
before.
before. Yeah, we were invited, but we were invited too late. Like we couldn't
Oh,
make it.
that'd been
in
awesome.
I wish we
time.
could have been there.
We got the invite like a day and a half before the wedding, and
It was
was-
just like
we were like, we
cannot
cannot
get our
get
butts to Palm Springs
California
right
right now.
So that's a
Like,
big ask.
If we had like maybe a week of time,
Yeah.
we probably would have made it happen. And then
You would've
after
loved it.
seeing everybody, we were like, damn, that
I
looked
know,
like
it
an
looked like a real
actual
fun
fun
party.
wedding.
It was, so the cool thing was I got to get to know Dean, Jason. I was with Adam too, Ben,
Yeah.
Wells, Tanner, all those guys. We went golfing before. So
Mm-hmm. That's
I
nice.
got to know Ben pretty well through just the mutual connections before and talking to him. And they set up a time for us to go golf before. And it was the best decision I made because I got to know all of them
Mm-hmm.
before. And then we all kind of were drinking on the golf course and then went into the stuff on the wedding, and just like it just opened up the rest of the night. Everyone was so kind. It was just a fun time.
It
I-
looked like a lot of fun. How
the rookie in the
Yeah,
group
yeah.
welcoming you. That's
they were all
nice.
like, we kind of like you, and now we have to watch your season.
yeah. And then we'll really decide.
Yeah.
How did you feel about Braden popping the question? at
That
the
was
wedding?
wild. So I was not near the camera, but you would have saw my mouth just like wide open when I saw that. I love Braden so much. He got such a bad rap on our season, and we definitely help with that. But he's such a kind person, and you just got to have that one-on-one interaction. But I've been lucky enough to see those two together in other settings too. They are perfect for each other. So it just makes
Love
sense.
that.
I'm
We were rooting for
fully
him on
rooting.
Paradise.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it changed a lot. We went
I
from
think
like
that
who
was
is
a
this
good-
guy to on Paradise. We were rooting for him.
It's a good edit for him on Paradise for sure. He was
It took
great.
me all the way to the end to really to join the, as Kelly and Trent called it, the Braden Hive.
Yeah.
It took me a while.
I'll tell you this. If I can almost guarantee if you ever met Braden,
Yeah.
you're 100%.
Yeah.
He's just a very kind and good human.
That also happens a lot with majority of the people, right?
Yeah.
You watch on TV and then you meet them in person and you're like, they're a really nice person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. It's
Yeah.
I think that people forget how much when you get put in that setting, it brings out so much. I think Wells talked on it before too. The most important thing is feeling confident in yourself and that you know who you are coming in. And some of these people are younger and they're still figuring a lot of that
Yeah.
out. If you put me on that show at Braden's age, no way.
Yeah, yeah,
no
yeah,
way.
yeah.
No way. And he's more mature than I was at his age. So it's timing. I think it's just one of those things that you just got to be
Yeah.
in the right situation and hope it looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, thank you so much
Yeah.
for
Yes,
jumping in the
thank you.
studio with us. We're so excited to watch Monday. It's almost here.
Monday.
It is here.
Almost here. Monday. Everybody can tune in to ABC. You know we'll be watching. We'll be
Yes.
recapping. Cutting Stems is back. So
Yep.
we are very excited. Thanks, Joey.
Yeah.
Yes,
nice
thank
to
you
meet
so
both
much.
you girls. I appreciate it.